Welcome back to story mode. Well, you've heard it all before. I keep doing these big rooms, but they're just never big enough. And what I think I have to do this time is think big, then think bigger, then think the biggest.
Well, how would I describe Joel in a sentence? It's kind of coming to me, but I haven't quite got it. Yeah, I don't really know. It's just kind of, I suppose, frantic would be in there. Bit of. You're not quite sure what to expect. You know, something's. It doesn't really settle. Things don't really settle with Joel. There's something's going to happen. Something's going to erupt. You know, there's something's going to go off. Some circumstances are going to come along, and it's going to be unbelievable coincidence. And you know, there's always some sort of excitement going on in Joel's life.
Welcome to 2017, where I wasn't playing as many games as I'd like to again, but I was into racing games at this point in time. Of course, one of them was the incredible Gran Turismo, but Gran Turismo Sport wasn't to my liking, mainly because it didn't have a campaign mode. But its rival, Forza Motorsport 7, was incredible, and this is where I started to move towards the Forza Motorsport series. Hey, they're both amazing. The other game I was playing a bit of was Call of Duty World War II. An amazing game, but still to this day, nothing beats Modern Warfare Part 3. So this is the games room. It's changed, I don't know, 20 times? It's been painted probably the same amount of times. And this is it. This is my life. Moving the games room around. I don't want to, believe me, but every time I get a box, every time I upgrade my collection, things get crazy and I run out of space. So today I've got to move in 4 big shelves. These are small shelves, these are medium shelves, and these are big shelves. Well, this is the first episode of the Vlog Files. Now, I named it the Vlog Files because I like the Rockford Files, and I thought it's a good name to call it the Vlog Files. Originally, the Vlog Files intro was going to be like the Rockford Files intro, where I'd have pictures of me out and about and making up an intro out of pictures. So in this first episode of the Vlog Files, called Making the Best Games Room, I'm actually moving around the games room, putting in more shelves and trying to neaten up the collection and even neaten up the TV screens I was using. I also wanted to show my family was involved in this experience as well, of me fixing the games room up, and showed the breakfast table and how a home environment was. Let me get a start on the games room and give me about half an hour, because I'm going to start waking up now and I want to get pumped. Move the games room around a bit more, and then I'm bringing you out, okay? Lego Dimensions. Okay. Now, to keep the videos at a reasonable length, I would have to speed up my footage of me moving around the games room. At times I would be talking to the camera, but sometimes it was worthless information. But here and there I would find some exciting things to talk about. Another super rare game. Star Wars with the 1977 Darth Vader figure, limited edition on the X68000. Rare? Super rare. So we were pretty much working on the room all day, and as you can see it's 11:16 at night. I'm about to go to bed and then get up early in the morning and do it all again. Finish off this games room and have its last evolution of setup. Well, let's hope so. Because I'm such a Gradius fan, I had to put that little skit in there. In other words, when I sleep, I go to bed thinking of Gradius and holding that arcade board. That was a joke, but some people thought it was serious. How do they think that? I have Luke here disconnecting all the consoles for me, and he got used to connecting and disconnecting things, Ethernets, HDMIs, and I love teaching young kids how to play consoles and use them and set them up. And you can see here, he's playing Whizball on the Commodore 64, one of his favourite games, and of course, International Karate Plus on the Amiga 500. So once this is done, we're going to put that big shelf here, and we'll move the NES over and work that way. And then I'm going to have the NES, and we'll work that way. Okay. Adam? Don't be scared.
From right to left.
So, from right to left. So we're going to obviously start. Adam, also known as the Lovely Adam, nicknamed by a couple of subscribers, was never really in front of camera much, but that ends up changing. He starts to come back on camera, but he's directing all this in terms of where the camera's positioned. He'd be editing some of the episodes. And there you go, he doesn't want to be seen on camera. He's helping out, painting everything. We were having a ball.
No, I got the silver part of the blind. Yeah.
Oh, my damn.
I'll do it, Joel. I'll do it.
Don't worry, man. Alright, it's been a crazy week and a half of setting up this room, and this should be the final time I do this. What am I talking about? The final time? Who am I kidding? Of course it's not going to be the final time. Now, looking at this video now and seeing from where I was to where I am here and to where I am even now, I can see that I'm just not thinking straight. It looks good, but it's just way too cluttered. And that's the problem. I need more room to have a nicer library. Also, the colours are a little bit dark and the room doesn't feel inviting enough. I want to possibly put a PC there, a gaming rig, and I know there's heaps of people out there say, where's your PC? And yes, it was definitely time to get a good gaming PC. The other thing I did in the vlog files was have what's on next week. See, we'd actually film a week ahead so we could preview the next week's vlog files. Playing games on PC. So I think we might do something next episode. That's enough.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Alright, yep, no worries. It's just, whatever RAM. Kingston is Kingston.
I've got the Corsair.
Corsair's good, yeah.
Corsair,
I like
one of
Corsair.
them.
So the following week, titled PC of the vlog files, was pretty exciting. It had Adam and I going to a computer shop looking for a good gaming PC so I could play my old games and of course modern games like Forza Horizon 3. You know what? There's going to be other games that I won't be able to play on Xbox and PS4 or something like that. And
Yeah, no, that's it. Yeah.
look at the number plate in front. NES. Do you reckon he's a massive NES fan? Like, he just loves... So this is something different. I actually let my hair down and started to joke around a bit on Last Gamer. This was Adam's idea. And, I'd see something that I'd normally talk about to Adam, and I'd leave it in Last Gamer to give it a bit of comic relief. And Adam, well, he did something with the editing.
Yeah, now listen to the wise words of Nesilexis. Now don't be blowing in those cartridges, kids.
So we got to the shop and we started to look at PCs. I was dealing with a guy called Dave. And Dave was fantastic, but the PC he sold me, I actually wanted to go better and bigger. And all the PC fans know what it's like. It's the PC Master Race. I just wanted a simple machine. I didn't want 4K. I told Dave that. But guess what? Once I get the PC home, all of a sudden, no, I should have gone to 4K. But I had to put up with it and just build this PC and use it for what it was. The biggest problem I had in this episode was my download speed. You see, I live in rural. There's no houses around me really. And my internet service is horrible. I'd be downloading at dial-up speed sometimes. And to download a game like Forza Horizon 3 took forever. I remember it was 2 days and 2 nights, and I got up at like 2 o'clock in the morning to go and check if Forza was downloaded yet, and...
I'm gonna check Forza.
What's the time?
It's about 2 o'clock. I'll be back.
34 gig. Come on. Now I remember when this video was up on YouTube, a lot of the comments could not believe my internet was so slow, telling me to get a better provider, but unfortunately it was only one provider at the time. When I got up one morning and found Forza was done, I was over the moon. After playing PC for a while on a 1080p TV, I was sold. I was a PC man, finally. This is unbelievable. I don't know what to say, guys. I am just PC. PC, man, far out. Look, I love consoles, obviously. That love's not gonna die, but I have got a lot more respect for PC. This is just... So now I'm finally a PC guy and I love it, and now I have to download Gears of War 4 on PC because I'm told it's so much better than the Xbox One. But here's the problem. Gears of War is not as big as Forza, and it probably will be. You are joking.
What are you doing?
Making the Ultimate Games Room.
I thought you said you were not simulating anymore.
I'm gonna make this the best simulator ever seen. So that was obviously the next episode to make a great simulator. I don't know if it's going to be the best simulator ever seen, but it's going to be pretty good. And I was actually thinking of maybe doing 2 simulators. I wasn't really sure yet. Maybe you've noticed I use classical music, especially back then in my videos. That's because I love classical music. I pretty much know all the composers and much of the compositions. Welcome back to the vlog files. Can you believe after moving this whole room around, I've got all this space still free? Well, it's time to build my simulator and get it set up. We're going to go and see my friend Paul for a 55-inch 4K Panasonic. Let's go. I'd have to say I don't think I've ever been so excited about doing a video for Last Gamer than this one. This was building up a simulator, possibly 2 simulators. Now I had a friend of mine named Paul who's going to donate the TVs to the channel. I did not want to say this on air, I just said nothing. So I went to his shop to look at a TV, possibly 2, for my simulator. Okay, I'm here with Paul. I've known Paul for about 20 odd years. How you going, Paul?
Good, man. How you going, all right?
Good, man. Good. So Paul knows what I'm like. We're looking at getting the Panasonic.
Very fussy.
I am. I can be, yes. 55-inch Panasonic, and on the way here, originally I was going to get 1. Now
Yep.
I've decided to get 2.
Yeah, 2 we can supply with 2.
Yeah, all right, no worries.
I've actually, I mean, it's up to you, but I've got 4 of them if you want 4.
4.
Uh-oh.
All right, do it, man.
4 of them?
4 for 4 simulators. Let's go.
Easy, done.
Paul's been an amazing support to Last Gamer, and we've been friends. We actually worked out for 27 years. We've been in the same industry, and for him to help me out to build these simulators, and now I'm kind of obligated to build 4, it was incredible. Now what I had to do is find 4 steering wheels, and I had another friend, a very close friend of mine named Paul, who was going to look after me there as well. He's the distributor for Thrustmaster, Capcom, and many other companies.
Nice.
Yeah.
What size? How many inch?
55 inch.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, it should be heaps
Fantastic.
should be good enough. You're sitting not even a metre, you're like 500 millimetres from the screen.
Yeah. I take it you're going to be running them on your Xbox One S?
Yes.
Lovely.
Yes, it'd
Lovely.
be awesome.
What do you need from me?
I need 4 steering wheels for the Xbox One.
Yeah. So my recommendation would be to get a Thrustmaster TX racing wheel, which is a Ferrari 458 Italia edition.
Awesome.
So it's got an Italia themed Ferrari steering wheel, and the Thrustmaster is the actual base unit with the motors in it.
Yep, done, 100%. And I love the Ferrari theme, so that's good.
Yeah, great. I've checked it. We've got them in stock, so just let me know when you want them sent out, and you can probably have them within 24, 48 hours.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, the sooner the better. So yeah, that's good.
Look forward to seeing your new PC setup as well. I bet it's crazy.
Oh yeah, it's good. I'm gonna have to upgrade the graphics card. People are yelling at me saying I should have got a 1080, so I'm gonna probably go for the 1080 with the 4K TV now. It never ends.
It never does, mate. I look forward to it.
Paul's looked after me for quite some time now, whether it be games. He's always sending me games for free. And these Thrustmaster steering wheels basically cost me next to nothing. In the meantime, Jess was on the phone with GT Ultimate to get 3 other simulators. And guess what? They cost me next to nothing as long as I made a video and let them use the video for promotional use. After connecting everything up and having it all run, there was only one last thing to do, and that was for Adam to film it, edit it, and put it up on YouTube, and it was going to be awesome. Again, I have to say, this was absolutely one of my favourite videos, doing this with Adam and just having so much fun editing it together. Adam did a wonderful job filming it. Look at all that graphic work he put in. It was amazing. Even I remember watching the video for the first time after Adam edited it. It was like, it was perfect. I couldn't even critique him on what to change. It was wonderful. Now you would think this will make for a phenomenal video, you know, 4 simulators, 4 Xbox Ones hooked up together on 4 screens that were 4K, everything was 4 I guess back then, but the comment section was extremely negative and toxic. 90% of the comments was, it must be nice to have money, it must be nice to be rich, how could you afford those 4 TVs, and so on. And I knew then maybe I needed to do something like a story mode and explain where I've come, who I've got to know, and how I get this stuff, such as the TV screens. So in episode 4, I bought a 4K PC, basically a PC with a 1080i graphics card that could do 4K, and well, it wasn't the most exciting episode. Episode 5 was the Neo Geo pickup. Another one with so many negative comments thinking that I'm loaded, that I bought out most of overseas with Neo Geo cartridges. You see, I got them from Germany and Italy, and yes, I bought a truckload, almost literally, of Neo Geo games and hardware, such as motherboards. But unfortunately, some people would jump to conclusions thinking I'm so loaded that I've just went and bought thousands of cartridges and thousands of motherboards, and then I just reached in my back pocket and paid for it. Well, as nice as that would have been, that was just not the case. You see, I had 5 other people go in with me to buy this bulk deal. That way we would get them so cheap, and we would have split it up 6 ways. We'd split up the profit, which wasn't a lot of profit, I have to be honest. My personal motivation was to collect a lot of the cartridges I was missing for myself. The rest I owned, I'd just sell off and take share out of the profit we made from them. But no, I did not just reach in my back pocket, pay for these and get them here myself. And I have to say, I'd love to do that again, but it seems these cartridges are becoming more and more scarce. Now, I knew after this episode, I would definitely have to get a story mode or something going. And what did I do? I decided to make a documentary. Now, the documentary is something that was going to take time. You see, I had to be really particular with what events happened in my life. I'd have to talk from almost birth and bring it up to now, which was 2017. And I really enjoyed doing this, but it was taking so long. I put way over 1,000 hours into it, and I wasn't even quarter of the way through it because there was bits missing. And I'm just showing my life now, like playing Space Harrier and then playing Space Harrier when I was on the Early Bird show, and I called the documentary The King of Video Games, and that was just a working title because, I had the Guinness Book of Records, so, was I the King of Video Games before that, or, should the King of Video Games be Billy Mitchell, or, something like that, and I just showed old pictures of me and videos of me when I was a kid, and having my 11th birthday and just being silly, doing silly things when you're a kid. The documentary would have went for around an hour and a half, so here's an abridged version. I got into games when I was around 5 years old. I remember my stepfather taking me to an arcade. I think I played Space Invaders first up. I can't remember the other games, and then he bought me an Atari, the Woody, with the 6 buttons, the 6 switcher they call it these days, and that was in 1978.
What's your favorite game? I've got invaders in my sights and I'm taking aim.
I first realised I wanted to collect games probably at the age of about, I reckon 12, when I got the Sega Master System, and had the Commodore Amiga at that time as well, or it could have been the 64s. Around then that I realised, hey, I've got a big accumulation of games, especially on the Commodore 64 and Amiga, where you'd pirate a lot of games. And just the fact that you're going to accumulate all these games and you can play them anytime you like, it was the best. Yes, I found this Ghosts and Goblins Nakamura board game.
Oh, really?
Yep.
On eBay?
Yeah, problem is $300.
Oh, my God.
Ridiculous.
Crazy. The prices of something.
I know.
You have to buy.
I'll have to get it. We started building rooms, started knocking down walls, started doing this, and last game it's all documented on there. Knocking down a wall, putting a games room on in my old house, and doing different things. And she'd be ordering games for me, finding games, finding this, finding that, and then she got back into games with Game Traders.
What do I think of Joel's collection? It's massive, and it's just unfathomable sometimes that you walk in there and you have a look at it, and to see people's reactions is actually, it's nice because I'm so used to it as well. It's sort of natural to me, so it doesn't really, I don't have that wow factor anymore, but to see the look on people's faces when they see it for the first time, it's really nice to see.
Absolutely amazing. Words can't even describe his collection. It's nothing I ever imagined, and started off and it was something very small, and it's grown and grown and grown. Words cannot describe it.
Well, maybe a typical day might be pretty early rise in the morning, and he'd usually be fairly energetic in the morning and pretty much just has a plan for the day of what sort of needs to be done and how it should be done, and and there's a lot of like the building and RC and video games, so there is a lot of work that for months, there's months worth of work and stuff, so he's got a schedule in his mind and he does commit to that.
Being vegan, there's obviously fruit and vegetables in my fridge. So yeah, this is kale, I think. What is this? Tuscan cabbage, the new one. We've got to have some kale, some spinach, have a lot of greens in the morning. I'll give that Tuscan cabbage a go. I don't remember getting that. Bottoms up.
Do I think Joel is happy? Maybe on the surface, but deep within his heart, I don't think that he is. He's always trying to aspire to something new. He gets very frustrated with himself, and I think he is happy in general. He is a happy person. He loves life, but I think deep within himself, no, I don't think he's happy.
He has his moments where he's happy, but he's never constantly happy. He'll be either sometimes really angry or really happy or somewhere in between, but he's never at a constant state of happiness.
There's all sorts of shit in here. So there's arcades and games and consoles, so it's in transition. I'll ask you to cut away.
Does Joel get stressed? He's one of the most stressful people I know. So yes, he does get stressed.
Definitely gets stressed, and there's periods where there's been a lot of stress. Hasn't been too bad lately, but I think during the building times there's definitely ups and downs, and there's been very stressful times. Absolutely, maybe more so than average than a lot of people.
Does not get stressed. He doesn't get stressed. He's always stressed. He doesn't get stressed because he's at a constant state of stress.
Rocky!
Hey, what's going on, buddy boy?
How are you, man?
Good, mate. How are you?
Not bad, not bad.
Lukey, how are you, mate? Hey, what's been happening?
Oh, nothing much.
Hey, nice weather we're having, huh?
What, how you doing?
Again.
Yeah.
How many times do I have to see you?
Oh, well, this
You
is
like
it.
this car? It's going cheap.
How much?
Yeah, how much you got? How much you got? A couple of video games, we can work it out.
Yeah.
A couple of pinball machines,
None.
you know? Pinball machines. Just
Two
bring them all
friends of
down.
mine, Claude and Rocky, who are partners. They own a panel beater shop called Cousin Smash Repairs, and they are meticulous and they're just amazing. But I was actually friends before they were panel beaters, or not before, but I met them via the gym. So that was actually good to meet them like that. But they always take care of me. And at the moment, they're doing my grandfather's car. So I managed to find that car on an app or a website called Car Sales. And I couldn't believe it that I actually found my grandfather's original car, 1971 Ford Fairlane ZD.
You're not authorised.
74-year-old.
You're not authorised to take photos of me.
No video!
No video, yeah, no video.
No video.
That was about 5 minutes of the documentary, and as you can see, it's all over the place. You know, in the morning I went to see my friends who are panel beaters, and it just goes from there, just my daily life, if you like. I then abandoned the project and decided to do it as a series. I decided to call it Story Mode, and well, here's a couple of minutes of the prototype, if you like, of Story Mode. Welcome to Story Mode, where we travel back in time to relive my fantastic journeys on my video game history. Let's head back to 1986. So the theme I used for that was the Paul Hogan Show, and that's a very famous television show set in the 70s and 80s in Australia of the famous Paul Hogan. You may know him from Crocodile Dundee. Anyway, I used the theme and I felt it actually worked. But I really wish I didn't start off in 1986 because there's a lot to tell before 1986. But because it's my favourite, just like George Lucas, he started in the middle and that's where I started. So I was kind of jumping around. Can you believe I had my first job when I was 8 years old? Let's head back to 1981. This is my life. The issue was I called it Story Mode, and because Microsoft own Minecraft and they have a game called Minecraft Story Mode, that IP come up as copyright material, and YouTube kept sending me notices to change the name for some weird reason because there was a conflict of interest. I can't remember, but I did know that some of my story modes were not going in other countries because of the name of the video. I mean, how ridiculous. So I changed it to This Is My Life. Thankfully, after a couple of months and heavy persistence from me to YouTube, they overturned it and allowed me to have Story Mode in the title and call the series Story Mode. I didn't put too much effort into Story Mode. Instead, I went back to doing the vlog files, and I'd maybe think about doing a Story Mode every month or two. Because the vlog files actually was a running commentary of my life, if you like. And I really enjoyed doing them, showing the audience what I was doing this week and then the next week, and obviously changing rooms all the time. Now you have to remember at this time I didn't have Last Gamer Show running. I was only doing the vlog files, sometimes story mode, and I wanted to do Insert Coin where I talk about arcade machines, restoring them, and wonderful things like that. Also I had Ion Retro, and that was also on the back burner. But in the background there's still one more thing I had to do. You see, in 2015 I submitted less than half of my video games collection to Guinness Book of Records. And I did this for two reasons. One, I didn't really want people to know I had so many games. And two, we still haven't counted all my Commodore 64 and Amiga games from my uncle's house. So at this time I would have had triple the amount I actually submitted. And in 2017 I was ready to submit most of my collection. But the novelty wore off and I was hoping a friend of mine from the UK would actually manage to overtake me and maybe give him a go.
A story about Joel. This is not really a story that's got so much a start, middle and end, but it's just a memory that comes to mind because it was pretty funny. And it goes along with a lot of the other things that I've said, that you don't know what's going to happen with Joel. So anyway, one day Joel came to my house, and I live like hours away. I live like 4 hours away, and he left Melbourne. It could have been midnight to come to my house. This was years ago. Anyway, we had to come back to Melbourne that same night, like 3 o'clock in the morning, and on our way back on this country road, pitch black dark, we're all in the car, and on the side of the road there was this body bag on the side of the road, just the size of a body. I could have swore there was feet hanging out the bottom that were hog-tied, and we just like shit ourselves, man. We just shit ourselves and just kept going to Melbourne. But that was crazy. And that was the night also that we found a hotel in the morning. Like, we got to a hotel 7 o'clock in the morning. It wasn't even booked. And we fished out a key from this box and unlocked the door and went into the room and just slept a couple of hours to catch up on sleep. So pretty crazy night, that one. But yeah, that's what comes to mind.